everyone, it's your favorite podcast host, Valerie Frost, back with Behind the Insight.
None of us do this parenting job, no matter what degree you have, how much money you have. None of us do this parenting job alone. We need support. We need each other. And that needs to be more common. We need to share that. I love Valerie early.
Yeah, I love this part because it's hard to explain. I'm supposed to be good at breaking down complex things, but it's like reverse thinking of what the system does, because the system will target you if they find out that you are doing this parenting job alone. So what did she say? I'm looking at the exam. So none of us do this parenting job, no matter what degree, no matter how much money you have. None of us do this parenting job alone. We need support, we need each other, and that needs to be more common. So the system will see you and see you doing this parenting job alone, see you without support, see you without money, and say, aha, we caught one. There's a live one right here. And that's not the ideal. This needs to be more common. That is a reflection of society. That is a reflection of our communities not creating a sense of belonging, not being inclusive. If there is a parent who is doing this parenting job alone, who doesn't have money, who doesn't have degrees, whatever, or who does have money and degrees is doing parenting alone, that should be a mark against that community. Why are you allowing this parent to be alone? Why are you allowing this family to be alone? Why aren't you supporting them? But instead, it's like there's so much victim blaming all the time. You know, I go back to at the White House when I was like, that caseworker. Where's the child's father? Where's your family? I'm deeply concerned about your lack of a support system. Me too. We share something in common here.
How do we make sure that all sectors, business, media, social services, education, every sector is prioritizing keeping families safe, supported, and strong? That's how we're all going to win. That's how we're all going to prevent child abuse and neglect, but we're going to also create all of that thriving, all of that good stuff that we want for our own kids and for other people's kids, we can have as a nation when our investments and our efforts are coordinated and comprehensive to support families where they are. Listen.
This is another one that is so reverse. So I'm going to go here. Every sector, business, media, social services, education, every sector. Look at education. As a whole, I'm not saying every individual teacher doesn't want to teach their class or whatever, but the institutions of schools are that they have rights to your kids while they're there. You have to they can give people access to your children without your permission. You're signing them over for the school day. Your child could enter the 4th grade. And these people have no, the immediate teacher has no idea who you are, has never met you, whatever. They get a file that passes through in all of this. And they feel like they know your kid. They know your kid because your child comes in there at 7:40 until 2:40 every single day. And they feel like they know you so much, your child, your family, so much better than everything that you went through prenatally, giving birth, when they were in, but they don't know if your child had colic. They don't know if your child had surgery really young. They don't know if you lost a family member the day before you gave birth and dealt with postpartum and grief all at the same time, and then got in a car accident when the child was 6 months old. You've overcome, every single developmental stage has been a hurdle, but you're just growing and learning and pushing through. Here they come to 4th grade, and this person's a whole expert on your kid. It's just, there's not a partnership. Everyone will tell you that the CPS numbers just spike up whenever back to school and all of that. Social services, now we don't already know how I feel about social services. Media is a big one. Media has so much power. So not to do anything, to your family, but they have power over public perception. And media could do something big if they really wanted to have people understand what is happening in foster care, to understand that children are not being saved. Because I look at the media if you look at like last week's news in Kentucky, it's every single worst child abuse thing, just back. That's all they do, is just shove this in your face to where you believe that is every day, every family, all of this. And they skip over the majority. They skip over when that child gets taken from one thing and shoved into worse. So it's not to say like every family is perfect, but if you think that you're holier than thou to take this child, then you better have somewhere for them to go. You like, I don't know. It's a lot. Every sector, business would do better if they treat their employees well, if they pay people a livable wage, not minimum wage, because minimum wage is not livable. If people pay a livable wage, if they give leave for parents, if they create healthy workplace environment, that's where people are going right before they go home, right? So you can really invest in parental resilience. You can invest in your employees who don't have children because they are going to be interacting with parents. Businesses could do a lot. They can create sense of community in their communities. Yeah. To me, Melissa talks a lot about policy and how she really wants to create these broad, sweeping changes that'll affect so many people. And I really thought that too when I got into it. It's like, I've got to do policy. I've got to, I'm kind of over it at this point, because you can change every single policy that's out there. The front line's not implementing it. Nobody's following. I saw a post earlier and it was like, if we had 4-year degrees for law enforcement, we would get rid of a lot of, enter expletive here, but how come I have to go to school for 8 years to practice law and you could go 6 months to enforce it? I mean, it's the truth. Policies is, yes, we need good policy, but we need these sectors to implement it. And if we don't get these sectors to implement it, we could change things left and right all day long. They'll find a way to get around it.
Prevention happens in communities. So we could be up here, national leaders, whatever, but if communities are not seeing that they're a key part of achieving this vision, why would you have this vision? So it was
what I just said. Communities don't see. I mean, that's the thing. That's what's missing. And that's what I've learned a lot of over the past few years, is I've been in a lot of meetings with decision makers. And of course, yeah, just being a mom and having CPS involvement, and then getting a seat at the table and gaining access. Of course it was exciting. Of course it made me feel like I was going to be a part of change. But again, I said this in the video the other day, my eye is on the family 3 doors down, and it's like, is sitting around in these meetings, being around leaders, trying to change policy all the way up here, is anyone's CPS involvement any different? Are communities any more welcoming? Are these sectors that we just talked about, like businesses and media and education, are they doing anything differently? Do they even know that we're talking about all this stuff? That's hard. It's really hard. I don't know. It is something that I think about. Like, do I want to be up here making these broad, systemic, sweeping changes that will affect many? Or do I just want to go, like, bring my neighbor a fruitcake? Not, like, actually fruitcake, but, like, seriously, sometimes I just want to go, like, help people cross the street and, pay someone's gas at the gas station and, family well-being, one good deed at a time, because you get up here and there's just a whole mess up there, and then I'm up here with this mess, I'm living down here, it's just getting like there's no connection in between. And then if you tell the people up here that this is not getting any better, then they are just like through the roof. Oh my gosh, so offended. And you know, but they don't live here. They have no actual idea what's happening, but they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear it.
I think we have to stay the course in educating our lawmakers, our policymakers, our friends and foes, let's say, that...
I almost busted out laughing when she said that. Our friends and foes. I'm keeping that one. If you missed the episode, link will be below. Go check it out. Let me know what you think.